Evidence that holds up. Two auditors test the same control and reach the same conclusion. One conclusion survives review, survives a regulator, survives a change of audit firm. The other falls apart the first time someone asks a hard question. The difference is almost never the conclusion. It is the evidence behind it. So this lesson is about the evidence, not the answer. Getting the right conclusion for the wrong reasons, or with evidence you cannot defend, is how good work quietly turns into a finding against you later. Every piece of evidence in a work paper should answer 3 questions without anyone needing to ask. Where did this come from? Not the client provided it, but which system, extracted by whom, when, and did you watch it happen? Is it complete? Could items be missing, and how would you know if they were? And is it what it claims to be? Does this actually show the control operating, or something adjacent that just resembles it? And here is the pattern worth knowing in advance: most evidence problems are failures of that second question. Not authenticity, not relevance. Completeness. The quiet issue of what was left out of the file you were handed. This is where inexperienced auditors get caught, and it is worth being blunt about it. You ask a system administrator for a list of all privileged accounts. They send a spreadsheet. You sample from it, test each one, find everything appropriate, and conclude the control is effective. The problem is that your entire population came from the very person whose access you are auditing. If an inappropriate account existed, the simplest way to pass your test is to not put it in the file, and you would never detect that, because you have nothing to compare against. There are 3 ways out, in order of strength. First, observe the extraction, sit with them, in person or on a call, and watch the query run against production. Second, reconcile to an independent source, compare the total against a system-generated count, a license report, or the identity platform. And third, the one people forget and often the most revealing, test in the other direction, take a sample from the system itself and confirm each item appears in the population you were given. Screenshots deserve a word, because they are weaker than most people treat them. A screenshot shows a setting existed, somewhere, at some point. It does not establish which environment, or whether it was changed shortly before or after. Anyone can screenshot a development system. If a screenshot is your only option, strengthen it, capture the full window including the system identifier and any environment banner, note who took it and when, and better still, take it yourself during a screen share. And finally, exceptions are not negotiations. When you find one, you will usually be offered an explanation, often in good faith. But an explanation and a resolution are different things, and the test is a single question: does the explanation change what the evidence shows? If a change was deployed without approval, and the emergency process was documented and followed with retrospective approval on file, then it was not an exception, the evidence genuinely changed. But if the answer is, that was urgent, we approved it verbally, nothing has changed. The control required documented approval. It did not happen. A reasonable business justification for a control failure is still a control failure. Hold on to this. Recording the exception does not make you difficult. It makes your conclusion defensible when someone reviews it 2 years from now, with no memory of the conversation you had in the room.